Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to host a high-converting virtual summit that leads to your biggest signature offer launch yet. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and I have an episode today that I've thought about and shied away from lots of times. And I always want to come across as helpful and as someone who delivers a ton of value, and I think I do that well. I want to come across as someone who has really incredible programs, but doesn't go over the top to sell them. And I want to be someone that you can trust to have your best interest in mind. So I'm guessing you can already see why an episode titled "So You Think You Should Host a Summit on Your Own" would feel a little sticky for me. And it would be easy for me to come at this episode out of a place of being sassy and sarcastic. And I'll be honest, sometimes in the moment, that's where my thoughts go. But I waited to write the outline and record this until I was in the right mood and mindset to totally come at it from a place of serving you as well as possible, rather than being sassy or funny about it or anything like that. And also, I came to the conclusion that I wasn't serving anyone hosting a summit well by not recording this episode and not having it to send to people who I am hearing things from that I'm about to go over. So my goal with this is to serve you so well if you're hosting a summit, and I hope that comes across in this episode. But to give you background on why, after 250 episodes and having my programs for years, this episode is just finally happening, it's because lately I've been having a lot more conversations with people. And a lot of times conversations lead into just low-key sales conversations where I'm actually, I think my programs would be a really good fit for you. Do you want to hear about it? And usually they say yes, And doing this has actually been really great over just a straight automated sales funnel, because I learned so much more about all of you who I get to talk to. I get to learn about what I need to change in my messaging, what I need to update in my offers, how I can support everyone better, and more. There have been direct changes made to my programs because of these conversations, and I love it. And I love feeling more connected to the people coming in. It's so fun. I've even learned more about who my offers are not a good fit for, which has been really great to get more clarity on. I think it's possible to be guilty of overselling or getting so good at selling that you can sell to people you shouldn't sell to. And I've gotten really clear over the past few months of who is a good fit and who's not. And it's okay. It doesn't mean anything bad if someone's not a good fit. That's just how it is. And they might be a good fit later, which, is great for both of us. Also, with these conversations, even though I've been selling Summit in a Box for over 3.5 years at this point, and the launch with the Summit Accelerator for about a year and a half, just lately, I've started hearing people say things like, yeah, all of that sounds really amazing and really helpful, but I'm just going to try a summit on my own first, see how I like it, and then if it goes well, I'll join your program. My reaction is, huh? It doesn't even make sense in my mind. And I'm sure this is what people have thought for years, right? Ever since I've launched my program, I'm sure people have thought this. But it's only because I'm actually talking to people one-on-one that I'm hearing it said. And again, to me, it doesn't even make sense. But I know I have a huge advantage by being the one to create the programs, have an understanding of what's inside, by seeing literally hundreds of results and testimonials from our clients and students. That's an advantage that I have that other people don't have. And I can try to illustrate those things. But, sometimes it comes across as more pushy and salesy than I want it to be. So I kind of hold back. And I see how, from the outside looking in, our programs are an investment, right? That's what you see when you're making the decision. But from the inside looking out, obviously for me, but also for our students and clients, and I'm going to share some of their thoughts at the end of this, it's a no-brainer. That will transform your business, your life, literally multiply your results several times over, save you hundreds of hours, that's not an exaggeration, and create a summit that's a significantly higher quality than you'd likely make by just throwing one together quickly by yourself to see how you would like it. Now, please know, I hope you can hear it, that this is not me saying I am better or smarter than anyone, in any capacity. It's me saying that I have had my hands in hundreds of summits over the last 8 years. I have learned 8 years worth of lessons. I've created thousands of trainings and templates, and I have all of that sitting and ready for you. I created every single one of those things to serve you. That's what they're for. Plus, I know I offer top-notch support that makes the process so much more fun and exciting and supportive and successful, and people don't have to feel stuck, right? I'm so good at coaching people through the process, but you don't see that when you're making the decision, right? So I want to go through some more tangible reasons why I would encourage you to not wait until after the first summit to join our programs, if that's what you're thinking. Okay, so I can sit here all day and be like, our stuff is real good. Like, it's really awesome and I know what I'm doing. Like, I can tell you that all day. But I want to kind of give you like more tangible reasons. Like, it truly makes me like sad for someone because of what they'll be missing out on. So when you host a summit without a framework and you're just winging it, first of all, you feel that in the entire process. You feel the fact that this is new. I don't really know what I'm doing and I hope it'll work. And when you feel that, your attendees and speakers feel that too, and it does affect your results. You tend to show up a little less, push a little harder, and things just look different from attendee and speaker standpoint as well. So like overall, you kind of sacrifice quality, right? And I guess like the easiest places to point this out and explain it are in the attendee and speaker experience. Like, you need to host a gold standard summit for it to stand out. There are a lot of summits out there now, right? Everyone hosts summits. That's an exaggeration, but there's a lot more summits than there used to be. And it's because they work. But for you to stand out, it needs to be top notch, right? You need to know what you're doing. I don't want your speakers to sign up expecting a great experience and then feel like you're just kind of winging it as you go. I don't want them to sign up and feel like they didn't get anything out of it. I don't want them to sign up and wonder what's needed from them. I want that all to be clear. I want you to lay out the red carpet for your speakers, okay? I also want your attendees to experience a gold standard summit. I want them to sign up and know exactly what to do and when. I want them to see that offer for the All Access Pass and be like, oh my gosh, yes, I want this and I'm excited to buy this. I want them to be so pumped for day one of your summit to jump in and engage and go through the content and connect with you and your speakers. It needs to be amazing for them as well. And those pieces are what matters, right? Like, I talk about the email list size. I talk about the revenue all the time because that's easy for me to lead with in my marketing. But if you don't have like the summit experience, that gold standard experience built in, the leads aren't going to matter. You might get the leads, although you probably won't. If your speakers didn't have a great experience, they're not going to promote, but you might get the leads. But if the experience isn't there for your attendees, they're not going to buy. So you're not going to have the revenue that usually comes right away through that All Access Pass or down the road from people buying your offers. Okay? I want you to host a summit that people are so excited to come back to year after year. And that is the part that makes you stand out as an industry leader afterward. That's the part where your attendees want to know how they can continue working with you, when you're going to host it again. It's what will make your speakers say, hey, keep me on your list for next year. Or, hey, let's collaborate in some other way. Let's do a JV webinar or some other type of collaboration. That is what we're looking for. And that doesn't happen with an event that's just thrown together. Okay, so that is like the first thing I think of when someone says, I'm just going to go do it by myself. I worry for your speakers, your attendees, and for you. I want it to be an incredible experience that is just wonderful for everyone months and years down the road. Okay, so I don't want you to sacrifice that quality by thinking it's a good move to do it on your own that first time. And we have the process, the templates, the whys, the ideas, everything laid out to show you how to host that gold standard summit, walk you through it, and make it really easy. The next reason that I get a little bummed when someone says they're just going to go do it on their own first is the revenue. You sacrifice so much money when you're doing it yourself the first time. And I'll explain this, but like a lot of people, they don't join our programs because they're going to save a couple $1,000s up front by not joining, right? Like it sounds like a good decision, but then you get to the end and you get to the end results and you miss out on way more than a few $1,000s in what the final results look like. And we have seen this time and time again with people who hosted a summit without us and then come and host a summit with us. And we get to compare the results and see how much of a difference it makes. We had one client who hosted a $23,000 event on their own. The first time they joined us, they doubled that. Oh, actually more than doubled that to $56,000. Wouldn't that have been worth a little investment on the front end to do that the first time? We had one client who did $39,000 in her first summit. That's awesome. But then when she joined up, she made $97,000. We had someone double their results when they joined us. We had someone go from an $1,800 summit without us to an $18,000 summit with us. Just a couple weeks ago, I had someone say they hosted 4 summits using another summit expert system that made $200. they 40x'd that the first time they joined us and used our system. Like, I want you getting those results from the beginning, right? I don't want you hosting an $1,800 summit. It's not worth that. The work you put in isn't worth that. I want you jumping right in from the beginning and getting the most revenue and results and momentum possible with your event. Okay. And that's what we see. We are so focused on high conversion rates. Like, these results aren't rare. These aren't just like random people I picked out like, oh, this is a perfect example. This happens time and time again for people who host summits without us and then join us afterwards. Like, oh, I wish I would have just joined you right away, because it's so much easier and the results are so much better. And I want those results for you right now, because why wait? Why wait for those? Okay. The next one is kind of related, and it's sacrificing list growth. Your email list fuels so much of your business. I don't want to see you wait till your second, third, fourth summit to maximize that list growth as much as possible. And that list growth is what fuels your all access pass sales and revenue right away. And it's what fuels your business moving forward, and everything else you do. Every challenge you host, every webinar and workshop you do is fueled by your email list. I want you maximizing that from the very beginning. Okay. And we specialize in helping you get as many people, as many qualified people signed up for your summit as possible without you having to have a big audience or having to spend a ton of money on Facebook ads unless you want to. Okay. I don't want you to have to wait until you've hosted several summits and feel like you've wasted a lot of time when you can just come in and do it right the first time and make it way easier. Okay. And then the last thing I will say about this is it's a huge sacrifice of your time to do the first one on your own. The first summit you host is going to be a lot. It's a lot to put together, to think through. And doing it from scratch, you can expect it to take you literally hundreds of hours when you're doing it by yourself. I think my first summit, where I was figuring it out all out on my own, took between 400 and 500 hours. Like, it was a lot. And that's why, like, I went into this business with the mission of I am going to make it so no one ever has to start anything related to their summit from scratch. You have every email, website page, design template, speaker communication, promo template, graphics, everything you need. We have literally over 1,000 laid out and ready for you. So you're not starting anything from scratch. You can get so much time back in your business to spend on other things, or like relax. Do we even know how to do that? I don't want you sacrificing more of your time for fewer results. Okay. So those are the biggest things that bum me out when someone thinks it's a good idea to go do it on their own first and then come to me. Let me just help you get it right the first time and get you the biggest and best results the first time. Okay. That's my heart behind it. I hope you see that. I also just wanted to make you not have to just take it from me. So I asked in our student community, like, hey, if you thought it was a good idea to host a summit without Summit in a Box the first time, and then you've joined us since, tell me about that. Were you happy with that experience? Or what would you say to someone who is thinking of doing it on their own the first time instead of joining? And I'm just going to kind of read through the responses. I maybe should have. I wanted to give you like my live reaction to these, so I did not read these before. I'm going to be reading them right now, so bear with me. But hopefully this gives you some insights as well. So we had one person say, I'm still in the planning stages of my first summit, but I'm already so glad I didn't do this on my own. There's so many things I would have missed that I already recognize would hinder my ability to land great speakers, deliver a great summit experience, and even just get my stuff together on time. I love that. The next person said, I've hosted several summits using Summit in a Box resources and trainings. I've also participated as a summit speaker for other businesses that don't use this method and resources. And it felt so clunky, and I didn't know what was going on, where to find things or anything. And this is from a company that does summits and events for online businesses. I was really disappointed in how clunky it all felt, and it made me appreciate your system even more. Wow. And I hear that a lot. I can't even tell you how many times I've had someone say, Summit in a Box and Accelerator Summits are the only ones I will speak at because the other ones are just a hot mess and not even worth it for my business. I don't get results. So I hear that echoed a lot. Okay, the next one here, I wouldn't have been able to do it without the Summit in a Box program. The templates and checklists are totally worth the price alone. Also, knowing the strategy part of things helps too when you're deciding what to do in your own summit. Also, I was just a speaker in a summit that didn't use Summit in a Box, and they didn't even have swipe copy for the speakers. I felt that was a huge missed opportunity for the host. Most of our signups came from ads, which is okay, but there's so much room for organic signups from the speakers and audience. Okay, last one. Oh no, I know my co-host would agree that we wouldn't have been able to have the successful event we did without the accelerator. Hosting a summit is one long stretch of you don't know what you don't know. Fortunately, your program tells you all of the things you don't know, plus all the things you didn't even realize you needed to know. It's also crazy organized and thorough. We had so many questions along the way, but not one was left unanswered inside of your program. And when we found the answer to each question, it also had a video, a worksheet, and 5 other supporting documents too. I would always say start off on the right foot from the beginning with these programs. It's well worth it and pays for itself many times over if you have the audience, niche, and topic to support your event. Best way to go, hands down. So I hope those insights help too, like hearing from people who aren't me. Like I just want to help people with summits. That's why I'm here. And I want you to get the best results possible the first time so that you're not discouraged afterwards. So you're not wondering if you did something wrong, if the strategy doesn't work, like which piece of this is broken. I want you going in the first time and just making the most of this time. So I hope this comes across as like being helpful and genuine. I don't want you to miss out on like literally tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours of your life, and like momentum that will move your business years ahead of where you'd end up on your own. I truly don't even care what the lost money it would mean for me. Like I am way more focused on what it means for you because it's a much bigger impact for you. So if you're thinking of hosting a summit and want to chat about if one of our programs are a good fit for you, just send me a DM on Instagram that says fit, or if you want to just ask a question, you can do that and we'll talk about it. Not for me to pitch or guilt or anything like that, but to talk about if hosting a summit is a good fit for your business, if my programs are a good fit for you, and if you're a good fit for them. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out. Head over to Instagram at Summit in a Box right now and send me a message. For show notes and resources mentioned, head to the link in the episode description. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your high converting virtual summit.